Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with another important breaking news alert for today. This is straight from the White House, specifically from the White House Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow. There is not only a confirmation of extended unemployment benefits, but there's a confirmation of an extension on the eviction moratorium. Yes, you heard that right. There's a confirmation of an extension of the eviction moratorium and talk of a reemployment bonus and tax credits. In fact, he specifically said there will be a reemployment bonus. In this video, I'm going to go over three things. Number one, the new announcement from the White House Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow. Number two, I'm going to talk to you about what we know is actually included in this new bill. Again, this is the first draft of this proposed bill from the Republicans. And number three, I'm going to reiterate the 70% gap again from Larry Kudlow with unemployment benefits and optimism about the state of the economic recovery. So, Larry Kudlow, the senior White House Economic Advisor, was just interviewed on CNN State of the Union, and he said that there's a $1,200 stimulus check coming, and that's going to be part of the new package. He did say that's going to be part of the new package, and he said that the Trump administration will lengthen the federal eviction moratorium, which just expired, along with the $600 a week unemployment booster. So here's what we know is included in the new bill. The next pandemic relief package is set to provide a temporary and reduced, well, it could be temporary, but if the Democrats have their way, it could be part of a broader package over several months. So I'll rephrase that. Is set to provide a reduced extension of unemployment benefits, another round of stimulus checks, liability protection for businesses, and funding for schools to reopen. Because kids' jobs and healthcare are a big focus of the next package, and this was from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. The legislation will also include $16 billion in new funds for testing and tax incentives to encourage companies to rehire workers. So all of these are good things, and as the safety component of this entire equation gets sorted out, in other words, as we feel it's safe to go out there, as there's some sort of a solution medically, I think all of these measures that are being implemented right now will all kind of snap into place, resulting in all of us getting back to life as we know it, hopefully fairly soon. Here's what Larry Kudlow said. The check is there, the reemployment bonus is there, the retention bonus is there. So presumably when he said reemployment and retention bonus, he was presumably talking about the same thing. We'll know in the next couple of days. Now, Kudlow said there will be breaks, tax credits for small businesses and restaurants. It's a very well-rounded package. It's a very well-targeted package. He also said the administration plans to lengthen the federal eviction moratorium, which has protected millions of renters in the last 4 months from getting evicted. Super important. Cities across the United States have been bracing for a surge of evictions when the moratorium expired in the past couple of days. The moratorium covers renters in buildings with mortgages backed by the federal government. So if your landlord has a mortgage that is backed by the federal government, the federal eviction moratorium applies. If your lender has a mortgage, if you're a landlord, if you're living in a building where your landlord has a mortgage from a federal bank, in other words, is federal money backed by the federal government, then in that case, the moratorium does apply. But if your landlord, the building that you're living in, the apartment that you're living in, the home is owned by someone, the landlord has a private mortgage that has nothing to do with the government, then there is no federal eviction moratorium that applies. So keep that in mind. And then it's up to, it's a discussion between you and the landlord. Lawmakers and housing advocates have called for a nationwide eviction ban along with rent cancellations and other forms of relief. Now, Larry Kudlow also reiterated the 70% cap with unemployment benefits. By the way, the US Treasury Secretary, I did cover this in my previous video, he said that the $600 weekly bonus was ridiculous. Those were his exact words, ridiculous. Now, Larry Kudlow did talk about optimism about the future, the economic recovery as well, and the $600 weekly unemployment benefits, which has effectively ended now. Here's what Larry Kudlow said. He said the administration's plan to cap unemployment benefits going forward at approximately 70% wage replacement is quite generous by any standards. His exact words, quite generous by any standard. So it's clear what the president wants. I've covered that in previous videos. It's clear what the US Treasury Secretary feels, and it's clear that the Republicans are now all getting behind the 70% wage replacement formula. Last week, like I mentioned earlier, the Republicans were considering extending the uninsurance benefit at a reduced level of $400 per month. They were actually considering that, or $100 a week through the rest of the year. Now, they probably came to a consensus among themselves, or they felt, hey, this is going to be a no-go with the Democrats, So they came up with a line in the sand that is a little bit more acceptable to the other side of the government. So they're going to negotiate, and like I said, when the final announcement comes out, both sides are going to want to take credit for the extension of unemployment benefits at an amount that is going to be lower than the $600 a week. Now, there is another factor here. It's going to be closer to 70%, but that could end up being more money for high salary individuals, and that will end up being substantially less money for individuals who are low wage earners. So it's very interesting how this is all going to work out, because 70% of an individual's prior income again could end up being more money for some and less money for others, depending on their prior wages, because the $600 a week federal benefit was just a flat amount and it was sort of arbitrary in a sense, but this isn't. So it's going to be very interesting how this gets rolled out, how the states are going to roll it out. And the US unemployment rate still remains above 10% at the time I'm recording this video, with nearly 32 million individuals now receiving unemployment benefits according to the Labor Department. And Kudlow remained optimistic about a US economic recovery. He specifically said the odds favor a big increase in job creation and a big reduction in unemployment. The United States does have more than 4 million cases with this illness, and close to 150,000 deaths at the time I'm recording this from Johns Hopkins University. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something new from this video. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda. I release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. If you don't know anything about me, check out my origin story on the YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/ignition time. I'll also link to it in the corner here, so you can click on it and learn more about me. I believe the American dream is alive and well. I believe we can get through this, but I do believe we all need to be educated financially. We all need to follow sound saving and investing principles, and those are the videos that you will see in the future with my channel. So please click like below if you learned something new. Please click the subscribe button so that you get notified, and also don't forget to enable the notifications button so that you do get instant updates going forward. I want us to not be victims of our own circumstances. I want us to not be dependent on unemployment benefits and stimulus checks. I want us to emerge stronger, emerge financially more literate, financially smarter, so that in the future we can have our money work for us, as opposed to us working for money or waiting for the government to give us money. So that is my objective, that is my aspiration. I have high goals, high aspirations for all my viewers, all my subscribers. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much. Once again, please click like below, please consider subscribing, please enable notifications, and I will see you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'm actually going to enjoy my cup of coffee, which I have here. And again, I really appreciate you watching. Stay safe, have fun, and more help is definitely coming. I will see you in the next episode of Ignition Time.